So, in the last video, I showed you why most people are terrible at this. And now I'm going to show you how to be one of the smart ones. At least I'll try. I mean, I did not become too smart, but I'm trying. So, while everyone else is paying basically 66 cents and getting crushed by slippage, you will be getting shares at 62 cents, 60 cents, and even maybe like 55 cents. And the best part, I'm going to do this live, okay? With real money. Because, well, why not? And let me see if my theories actually work, right? Cool, let's do this. Welcome back. I'm Surbi, and full disclosure, I'm slightly under the weather right now, so if I sound a bit off, that's why. So, last video was all theory, how to read the order book, why market orders are evil. I think they are. And all that good stuff, right? But today we're getting our hands dirty. So I'm going to place actual limit orders and show you this thing called the spread split strategy, which sounds super fancy, but it's actually pretty simple. I don't do fancy, right? And, the Iceberg thing, which always reminds me of Titanic. And I know it's a super poor joke, but I will put this in the video anyway. So that's going to blow your mind, right? So let's start with the first part, that's the spread split. So today, maybe I'll use this market, which is they asked me to get at least 10 points from the first 5 Premier League matches or not. I know it's a difficult sell. Let's see if they win, correct? So look at the order book here, right? And you see these numbers here and over here. So sellers want 66 cents at the cheapest, whereas buyers are offering 58.50 cents at the top. So that's a split difference between almost like a 7.50 cents, which we, as you remember from yesterday, call the spread. And that's pretty wide. And most people then pick a side, right? But what if we just went down and right down in the middle, right? It's almost like haggling in a market. I don't know if you've ever shopped in certain flea markets or places where you can haggle and, the seller wants to charge you high and you're like, no, I want to buy cheaper. And maybe if you kind of, reach the middle, it becomes easier to buy at a cheaper price too. So what I'm going to do is, if you see over here, there is a 7.5, 66, and 58.50. So maybe, let's see. I'm going to use my Petra wallet, by the way. So, I will do a buy order at, let's say, 62 cents. Okay. And I'm going to put 3 shares here on this. By the way, this is absolutely normal. I'm giving permission to an external wallet, which is quite safe, by the way. It's called Petra wallet, to place the order. Now, this is where I'm at, right? So now I've kind of been in the middle. Let's see if it shows right away. Sorry. Tech, right? Okay, let's see the order book. Oh, you see? I'm somewhere here. So I just became the best bid in the market. And here's why this is genius. You see, I put the 62 cents. I've reduced the spread by 4, right? I hope you guys are following right now. So I'm paying basically 4 cents less than the market price. That's 6% savings because the market price is this, 66 cents. But I'm offering 3.5 cents more than the previous bid, right? That was 58.5. So sellers actually might want to hit my order, right? It's like, when you're negotiating to buy a car, you don't start with the asking price, but don't lowball them either, right? Meet somewhere reasonable, let them come to you. Or even the flea market, even buying a simple top, whatever it might be. If someone's saying they're going to sell something for like $1,000, you don't say, no, I'm going to pay $50. You're going to meet them somewhere halfway. So the deal actually works. So why this actually works? Psychology 101, by the way. The thing is, most sellers aren't actually married to that 66 cents. They're just hopeful, But when they see my 62 cents there, they start thinking, 62 cents isn't terrible. And it's right there. And plus, this is the key. I have changed the entire dynamic of the order book. Before you want to sell, your best option was 58.50 cents. Now it's 62 cents. I just made selling 66%, sorry, not 60, 6% more attractive. So let's see. Let's check if the order book fills. I'm guessing nobody wants to trade Arsenal. I'm sorry. I love the team. Love it. Love it. So, but still sitting there. So no fills yet. It's totally fine. This is actually perfect because it shows the patience part. Sometimes it does take some time for it to show. And, right? So now we're here. See, my 62 cents is perfectly placed between the best bid in the market. Before I place it, if someone wants to sell, they'd have to take about 58.50 cents. Now they can change 62 cents. And that's a 6% better deal for them. So even though I haven't gotten filled yet, I've already improved my chances by making my order more attractive to sell, right? So let's talk honestly. What happens when the strategy fails? Look, I gotta be real with you. This doesn't always work. Sometimes the market just gaps right past your order. I've had orders sitting there for days while the price goes from 60 cents to 85 cents and I'm like, well, that was dumb. Generally. The key is knowing when to use it, right? So use it when volume is low, spread is wide, and no major news is expected. So even for this match, right now, the volume is low, spread is wide, and at least till the match happens, there'll be no major news, I'm hoping or supposing, right? Now, when do you not use it? When major news is coming and market is really moving fast, or you absolutely need to get in now, like right away, when you have 100% conviction it's going to happen, right? So essentially, it's all about reading the room, So now let's go to the sneaky stuff. That's the iceberg orders. And like how sneakily Titanic was trashed because of an iceberg. I don't know why do I keep going back to that. I apologize. I'm going to shut up. Okay. So the problem with big orders, let's say if I put the same limit order, which is but not 3 shares, much more like 50 or 100. So let's say I want to buy 20 yes shares right now. And if I just mark it by all 20, and if I calculate it, I'd have to pay 6. It's almost I'm going at 79.6. So my average cost would be 72 cents or something crazier, right? I'm sorry if my calculation was not right. Please, apologies. And everyone in the market would see this big order coming and be like, oh, someone really wants it and letting me raise my prices. Correct? It'll be so visible. This is one person's order. It's almost showing up to a garage sale with a Chanel bag and asking how much for everything, right? You're going to get terrible prices. So that's exactly what it is. So this is what we can resolve or give a solution with the iceberg example. So instead of one big 20 share order, I'm going to spread it out, right? So let's see. How can I spread this out? I'm going to take a look at the order book. I'm going to make the limit order. So let's say I'm going to do 62, right? And I do 3 shares, which I've already done. So I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to do 60 and I'm going to do 4 shares. Sorry. Right, I'm going to do 60 and I'm going to do 4 shares. Then I'm going to do 56 and I'll do 5 shares. Let's do 52 and I'm going to do 4 shares. And then finally at 48, I'll do 4 shares again. Right? Now, let me see if it's showing right away. By the way, if there is some delay, it's because it's blockchain. So it takes tad bit time to be verified. And then you go back in, you check in. This shouldn't always be the case, but right now it is. But this does not mean anything. Okay? Right. So now you see how the order book looks. Uh, does it look like one person trying to buy 20 shares? No. It looks like, well, like different people with different opinions, which is exactly what you want. And the beauty is, if the price drops, I get shared at amazing prices. If it doesn't drop, well, I don't overpay for anything at all, right? Now let's talk about the advanced iceberg psychology. Here's one thing that took me forever to understand. Other traders are watching the order book too. And when they see one massive order, they think, okay, someone knows something I don't. Or this is going to move the price. But with the iceberg order, they just see normal market activity. No red flags, no whale alert, just people trading, simply. And I learned this when I was watching some big trader probably accumulate shares in a political market. Never saw huge orders, but somehow they ended up with like 500 shares, which is kind of sneaky. So anyway, let's talk about the really, really important stuff here. That's market make for regular people. Because this is super important, especially in markets. Like you can earn a lot of money in new protocols, new projects, especially like Fliq when you're really knowing how to market make. So I would ask, what's market making anyway, right? So market making, I would say, sounds super fancy. Like something only Wall Street guys do. But it's actually pretty simple. You just try to buy low and sell high at the same time, right? Buy cheap and sell expensive. Simple. So now look at a spread. It's from, let's say if we ignore this, it's from 66 to 58. This is where we started. But let's see, now we have 4 cents. That's 66 to 62 cents, right? And what if I put a buy order at 60 cents and a sell order at 64 cents? If both fill, I make like 4 cents per share with basically zero risk, right? But for that, let me see. Or what else can I do? So maybe I'll do, what if I put a buy order at 62 cents, which I already have, that's why smart, and sell order at 64 cents. Let me do that, right? I do a sell, put a limit, and oops, let me see. 64. Problem right now is I did not buy any sell order. I literally have 0 because none of my buy orders got filled. Let me do firstly market. I'm putting the sell order over here at how much? Let's do 64. And again, I'm putting 3, right? And the market. Okay. So maybe 2 cents over here doesn't sound like much, but 2 cents on 10 shares is like 20 cents. And when you do that like 25 times, you've made already $5. And do it like 250 times, I guess you get the idea, right? So let's try it and buy 62 cents, sell 64 cents, and now we wait, right? And what about when you're the only one in the town? The really fun part is finding brand new markets with like no orders at all. It's perfect, right? Like, let's see if there's a market which is completely launched with like 0 volume. Oh, sorry. So let's see. Recently launched market. Okay, with alphabet, this one, right? So there is a market making system on Fliq, so which is there. But if I had to do it, how do I go about it? So it's like finding an empty parking lot at the mall, basically, maybe on a Black Friday. So I can literally set the prices over here, like maybe something at 4, like I could do here at 5 and 4 cents, right? I mean, basically to kind of do. And why these prices? I don't know. They seem reasonable for something I know nothing about. And now anyone who wants to trade has to go through those prices. It's like being the first hot dog stand at a baseball game. You get to set the prices until competition shows up. It's a risk because nothing is free. Like, what are the risks associated with it? But hold up. Like, this isn't really like, just to like confirm, it's not a money printer. Sometimes you get stuck with position you don't want. Like, what if I sell yes at 64 cents and then some news breaks and goes to 90 cents? I'm going to feel pretty dumb. No? Or what if I buy at 60 cents and it turns out this thing has zero chance of happening? Now I own worthless shares. By the way, this is where your knowledge of what you really know, you can use to trade better. FIR. So the key position is sizing over here. Never risk more than you can afford to lose on this stuff. And I've also mentioned this in one of my previous videos. So if I keep my like market making like 2 to 3% of my total bankroll per market, it's fine, right? So you saw what we did and like how it works. I'm not even sure if my market order got filled. Like I will see, like you can see my orders here. And I think it should be right at the end, right? They haven't been filled yet. So as I think probably when more people start trading on this market, they will. But also I can exit my position if it does not get filled that way is I do not lose any money as well. By the way, one important thing to note, even though I've put these orders, I don't lose any money unless someone buys it at this price, right? They're just sitting there, which is fine. That just means the market hasn't moved up to where I think it's worth selling, primarily. So let's do the math. If I had just bought, like market bought those 7 shares, I would have paid about like $4.62, I think. Instead, I pay 4.34 right now. That's 28 cents saved, which is like 6% better. And what I've learned, like, honestly, like, honest reflection is like, not gonna lie to you. I usually don't actually. And say like I win every trade, right? Like it doesn't happen. I am not that clever, I think. It has happened like last month I did lose some money, but I also had my position hedged, which is another video another time. And but standalone position I did lose like about $80 in a day. I was just being, I think, cocky. But here's what I've learned. I think patience actually pays, even though it's boring, like super boring. Like this, maybe this video for some people, right? But it really pays. Small edges add up over time, right? Don't always go for the big win. It's smarter to go for smaller wins. Another thing which is very important to note, and I've said this previously, the market really doesn't care about your feelings. Position sizing is everything, okay? So be careful how much you do. And honestly, most of the time, the best play is just like not playing. Fact. So if you can't find something, don't find a good spot, like don't force it. It's okay. So there you have it. Limit order that actually work. We split spreads, did some iceberg stuff, and even try a little market making. And the best part, we save money on almost every trade, right? But this is still just tactics. In the next part, I'm going to show you the bigger picture, how to actually scale this into consistent monthly profits. We're talking position sizing, bankroll management, and well, the psychology of not losing your mind. Trades go against you. So yeah, and if this helps you, please do let me know, and we'll come back with more. And I just hope this just made your trades a bit more profitable and fun, actually. See you next one. Thank you.